You are being called to live in peace, on purpose, with passion and prosperity. But you can't do that if you haven't unlearned the crap. The crap that is disempowering you. The crap of conditioned responses and automatic programming. And that's what we're here to do. So that you can level up because you know your soul is calling. Welcome to Unlearn the Crap and Level Up TV with your host, Kathy Baldwin. Hi, welcome to Unlearn the Crap and Level Up Your Soul is Calling. My name is Kathy Baldwin and I'm your host. Today is a really special show. Today does not fall under any category of any structure that I have created. Today is the day that I announce that starting tomorrow, my podcast will be expanding and we will be going 5 days a week. I have some exciting structure and content that I've been working really hard for a long time to pull this together. Today marks the beginning of my next second year of this podcast. Because in the first year, we've been growing and expanding and finding my voice. And more of that I'll be talking about tomorrow. But today is also, would have been, my mother's birthday. She was born April 30th, 1949, and we lost her in February of 2008. When she passed away, one of the last things that she said to me was, Kathy, you don't understand. I could have been somebody. For years, the pain of her words echoed in my heart and soul, and they drove me to create a life of meaning and purpose. I use that pain as a torch to guide my way. But today, I say this. She was somebody. She was my mother. She was my hero. She was the first woman I ever adored. I wanted to be just like her, except without the pain she carried. She struggled with her demons, and I carried some of those demons for her. She inherited her own crap, and for a long time I thought that was my burden to carry as well. I thought that I was responsible for her crap, but now I know that while my birth was not planned, it was on purpose. Not because she planned me, but because life did. Because something greater that I was here to do. I'm here to break cycles, speak the truth, and become the light that she never felt she got to stand in. And you know what? Because of what I've survived, because of what I've healed, because of what I've gone through, I now get to share with you. Today's episode isn't just for her, but it is because of her. And now I get to live the rest of my life as somebody, not to prove anything, but to honor the woman who made me possible. Let me give you a little recap on who I was and how I came to be and what my mother's role was in my life. My mother fell in love with my father as a young girl. They became pregnant with me while she was a teenager. My mother then married my father. And when she said, I do until death do us part, she meant it. They stayed together for their entire lives, knowing only each other, loving only each other, honoring the commitment and the love that they had. They built a family, they built a life. My mother rose as far and as high as she could go within the corporate world. To the outside world, she looked like she had it all. But what she didn't have were those dreams of her identity, of who she knew she was, who she thought she could be, what she could contribute. None of what she did accomplish had any resemblance to what her heart, her soul called for, who she thought she would have been. So when she said those words to me, in a very sad, vulnerable moment, when her and I were up talking late into the night, having had one too many cocktails, when she said, "Kathy, you don't understand. I could have been somebody." It was not a reflection of what life she lived. It had to do with the life she didn't live. You see, I energetically carried the shame of being born or conceived out of wedlock, born in wedlock. I carried the burden of multiple generations of pain of women before me. I don't know why or how, but I always knew and felt that I didn't belong and that I wasn't supposed to be here. And so energetically, I carried a wound around with me that made me feel I needed to earn my place in this world. It was not anything I was told or anything that happened. It was just a deep-seated knowing in my gut and in my soul. And my mother knew that I struggled because she tried to help. But when I couldn't articulate what I was thinking or feeling, because I had no frame of reference to understand that what I was experiencing was not normal, was not healthy, and was not in my best interest. It was only through my breakdown that I would find the clarity to see the truth of the life I had lived out of alignment and out of purpose. Because shame is a chemical reaction. Shame is an emotion that we feel from judgments on the external world. My mother, knowing how incredible she was, how intelligent, articulate, creative, imaginative, how powerful she was, the fire she had in her belly of knowing that she had a really strong contribution to bring to this world. But my mother was also born into shame. And so the shame of her birth carried over into mine. And so I have multiple generations that I needed to unlearn the crap that how we came to be based on external societal judgments are not ours to carry. Those were brought on to us by the external world. And so it's theirs to carry, not mine. Eventually, as you know, I had a breakdown to have my breakthrough, and everything became clear. And today is magical for me in so many ways because I have planned for May 1st to be my very first line in the sand episode of my second year of this podcast, moving into 5 days a week. One will remain my anchor episode of interviews with curated, amazing people that I hope will touch your heart and soul the way they've touched mine. Shed light on various areas of our life. That will remain on Thursdays. But I've added 4 other episodes. One will be Monday, called Unlearning Curve, which is where I teach everything that I've learned, the strategies, the tips, the tricks, the tools, the resources, so that you can have your own unlearning of your crap. Tuesday is going to be Unplugged Kathy, which is where I'm going to share my own personal stories, learnings, books, resources, documentary, anything that is personal about me. Wednesdays is going to be a Beyond the Interview episode, where I'm going to talk about what that interview or interviews from the past meant to me, how they touched me, what was behind the scenes, what was the purpose, what was the meaning, what did I take away from it, how did I grow. I'm hoping to shed light on what happens behind the scenes so that the interview becomes as alive for you as it does for me. And then Friday's episodes are going to be Unfiltered Fire Fridays. My Unfiltered Fire is going to be all about current events and how what's happening within our geopolitical, economic, socio systems, how it connects to our own personal journey, how we can connect the dots of the learnings of self-empowerment and connect it to what's happening in the world. I am building a movement. That movement is born out of my own journey of discovering who I am, where I fit, what I belong. And the fact that I did not plan the day of me announcing what tomorrow will bring would coincide on my mother's birthday, would become full circle for what I'm about to bring. I am no longer on a healing journey. I have healed. I have released. I have opened and welcomed and accept that I have a purpose, and my purpose is my voice. My purpose is this podcast. My purpose is to share everything that I've learned so that we can all level up and unlearn the crap that keeps us disempowered. One of the things that I've been doing on my own personal healing journey is I am learning the energetic connection of communication. And I've always been fascinated by those intuitives or those tarot card readers or those spiritual people who could help me gain clarity from what I was going through. And so on my bucket list has been for me to learn what I could do to take that knowledge, and instead of going to others to gain what I was looking for, but to learn how to do it for and with myself. Very much the way I did my healing journey of energy healing by learning and becoming a practitioner of Dr. Bradley Nelson's The Emotion Code and the Body Code. I gave myself that which I was seeking from others. I learned how to articulate what I need and want, and I found a way to make it a part of my own empowerment, my own self-healing, my own self-awareness, my own self-growth that is self-directed. I live and breathe everything that this podcast is and what my purpose is with it and what I share with you. So today I began my tarot reading, and the very first card that came up was the World card. Now, for those of you who are new to tarot reading like I am, when I went through the interpretation of what that means, it came up with it was the end of my karmic cycle. This is really profound to me because I've learned that we all have a karmic debt in some shape or form. And karma is, in my belief, part of the universal laws of rhythm. It is part of the cycle. It is part of the law of correspondence. It is part of the law of compensation. And so when I have gone through my own spiritual journey and I have done some deep dives, or I began to do deep dives into the lessons and the things that I carry, I don't know if I have told you this yet or not, but one of the journeys that I went on in my past life came to me having lost everything because I went against the church. And that was part of what came out of past life regression for me. I knew I carried a karmic debt. I knew I carried something that was multi-generational. I knew it, I could feel it. I just didn't know what to do with it. And so my healing journey has also been about releasing this karmic debt. Recently, in my studying about what karmic debt means, I found that if you have the number 14 in your birth date, that is one of the signs that you carry a karmic debt. My birthday is on the 14th. I believe we've talked about this before. I believe that when I've gone through my journey of figuring out what I needed to heal and release and cut the cords of the crap that disempowered me, this world card that came up today is a signal that I have completed my karmic debt. I have released it. I have cut the cords. Today is a sacred rebirth day. And tomorrow, May 1st, 2025, is the beginning of the next evolution of my voice and my purpose and my podcast, Unlearn the Crap and Level Up, because your soul is calling. The next card that I pulled was a 7 of Pentacles. What that means is it is about sowing the harvest of everything, all the seeds that I've sown. And when I think about the connection between my mother's journey, her mother's journey, and mine, I see that I have generations of seeds that have been sown. And it is my joy and my honor and my pleasure to now bring them to harvest, to fruition. You see, I wasn't a mistake. I mean, I've been planned for by my parents, but I am the cord cutter. I am the cycle breaker in my family's lineage. I do hold that responsibility with honor and reverence and joy. Today, I know that having that card tells me that I am the continuation of what my mother and my grandmother sowed many years ago. What was left unfinished in their life is up to me to bring forth. I am the continuation of 2 amazing women. And I pass all of the best that I have onto my future generations, both within my physical bloodline as well as within my energetic connection here to you and to the rest of the collective world. I honor the role of me taking this to fruition, knowing that my zone of genius, my challenges, my struggles, my pain, my karmic duty, my voice, every part of me is now stepping into the evolution of the paradigm shift that I've been talking about for so long. And my wish for you is that you come to this place as well, through anything that I have to share, as open and vulnerable as I can possibly be. I finished up my personal tarot reading this morning with the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is about starting over. It's about a new fresh start. It is about a new seed, a new soil. And that's what this podcast is all about. That is what I am bringing with it. I accept all of the energetic connections that the universe is bringing to me. I don't know what I'm going to harvest, but I do know that I am no longer carrying the crap. Will I still have triggers? Yes, I will share them with you, because those are the remnants of what needs to be released. Just like the weeds of any soil, any harvest, we need to pull those weeds. Do not let them get root. They are part of the process. And I am excited for this next level. I no longer carry the shame of how I was conceived and how I was brought into this world. I no longer carry the shame that my mother inherited when she was born to her mother in an unwed mother's hospital, even though my grandmother was a married woman. Her husband had left her while she was pregnant with my mother. So we have generations of shame that have been carried. I let it go. Instead, what I take with me is the power of the hero woman that I always admired in my mother. And I will carry her voice, her mission, by being the woman I know I was born to be. I will not end my life with regrets of woulda, coulda, shoulda. I will not carry any shame or blame of unmet expectations, of societal pressures. I will not have a cry at the end of my life that says I could have been or I should have done. I am choosing. I am living. I am becoming. And I encourage you to join me with this. I have so much excitement built into this next phase of the Unlearn the Crap podcast. I have so many things that I'm curating and planning. There has been countless hours of work behind the scenes to get to this place. There are collaborations that I'm still working on building. There are new ways that I'm here to support you, that I'm bringing to fruition through collaboration and community and support. There is so much that is being harvested from my own journey. I want to say thank you to those listeners who have been with me through my entire journey of this podcast so far. I want to say thank you to those of you who are finding me for the first time and feeling in alignment. Thank you for being a part of the energetic connection that is the collective that we're creating. Every single one of us matters. Every single one of us has a place and a purpose. And while you may or may not have discovered yours, my hope and my prayer is that my voice, my journey, this podcast, my books, whatever it is that I have to give, illuminates the light for you and helps make your journey easier, faster. Our world is speeding up. Things are coming at us from so many different directions. We are in massive change. Our world is divided. We are feeling lost and broken and confused. This is all part of the process. Very much the way when we renovate a home, we will tear down the walls that no longer serve us. We will open and reshape the structure to be what works for us today. We will rebuild in a way that serves our future vision and our current needs. It is messy. It is ugly. It is painful. And a lot of times it's probably really expensive, not always necessarily financially, but emotionally and mentally and energetically and financially. We are rebuilding. We are creating. We are co-creating. And I'm inviting you to join me in this co-creation of this new world that is being called forward. I have a really powerful podcast scheduled for Friday. Friday's episode is going to be my first Unfiltered Fire Friday, where I talk about the socioeconomic that is happening within our geopolitical world and where we each fit. I hope you'll join me for that. I hope you'll join me in the coming weeks because I have been planning out so many exciting topics, curating the most exciting guests. The universe is aligning me with amazing people that I cannot wait to introduce you to. There is so much that is being brought forward. I won't carry any of the dysfunction, any of the disempowerment, any of the pain any longer. That I release to the world. I release to the earth. I release it to become the fertilizer for what I'm growing. And I am ready to harvest the seeds of what has been built in the last couple of generations. Wish I knew how much farther back these seeds have been sown, how long this has been ready to be born. I feel like I'm bamboo, that I've been planted and required such a long time to finally sprout. But regardless of how long it's been or what generations have gone through before me, I am ready and I accept the challenge. I stand before you as somebody who has never been as whole and as connected and aligned and empowered as I am right now. I know this is the beginning, and I want you to join me. I do have all of my resources. I've got both of my books, Unlearn the Crap and Level Up Your Soul is Calling, as well as How I Unlearned My Crap. I have a really new, exciting book that I'm in the process of writing right now. This podcast is growing and expanding. My Unlearn the Crap collaborative community is beginning to flourish, and I welcome you to join me. I welcome you to be a part of my journey. I welcome you to unlearn your crap and level up because your soul is calling. And before I set this episode, this special episode that doesn't fit into any other format, because this is a moment that will never be repeated. I want to share a little bit of my own journey through this podcast, how it came about, how I've grown over the last year. This podcast was born by somebody reaching out to me. You see, the company Bold Brave TV and my executive producer of it, John Kelly, had come to me and said, we see a place where a demographic and a message is being underutilized and undershown. And when we went looking to find where that best fit would be, and we allowed the algorithms and AI to help us find the best fit, I was told that it was my voice that was needed. I didn't think about a podcast. That was not on my bingo card, wasn't in my dream, wasn't on my vision board. But when the opportunity came to me, while I got scared because this was not part of my current identity, I trusted the alignment and I followed. And I will admit that I had a lot of crap to unlearn in that first year. You see, one of the lessons that I was taught was to be an amazing hostess. That was something my mother was really fantastic at. And so I was taught to serve others and to allow them to shine and be comfortable and never, ever let anyone feel out of place when they're in my company. That is part of my weight issue, because one of the lessons I was taught was to never, ever let a guest be the last one eating so that they didn't feel uncomfortable by how much they wanted to consume. So my ability to constantly eat so that others would feel comfortable became ingrained in who I am. What was best for my guests was more important than what was it for me. And I will admit, in the beginning of my Unlearning the Crap journey, if you go back and you listen to some of the early episodes, you will see I didn't fully have my voice. I was creating space for others to share their voice, their mission, their vision. And as I went through and I realized that this was not aligned with me, this was not fitting and working for me, and this was part of old programming, I began to take my voice back. I began to put more of me into the podcast. I began to say, you are here on this podcast because between you and I, we are aligned in our mission and our vision to give to the collective, to you, the listener, the watcher. That together we are creating something in collaboration. So no longer was I creating a space to have others shine. Instead, we began to evolve and create a true collaborative, a true community. And that is where this podcast has come to the point where I still create that amazing space for others to shine their thoughts, feelings, experience, zone of genius to give to you so that you can level up by unlearning your crap, so that you can see your challenges and your pains and your struggles as the opposite of where your zone of genius is, so that you can discover who you are, where you fit, where you belong, what your gifts are, what your purpose, passion, peace, and purpose is in this world. It is together that we are doing this. That is the evolution of what this last year of my podcast has been. And I cannot wait for a year from now to tell you how I've grown in this next coming year, how together what we have accomplished, what we have created, what we have changed, the lives that we have affected, the energy consciousness that we have raised by coming together in true collaboration. I believe the power is moving from the elite, the 1%, into us. That our power is part of the whole process of our evolution in this world. And you're going to see very intentional, curated thoughts, feelings, experiences, tools, resources, so that together we can utilize what we were given, capitalize on our pain, and make it of value instead of destruction. Today, my mother would have been 76 years old. I will be turning 60 in 6 weeks. Today is spring where I live in Canada. Today is a line in the sand. Today would have been my mother's birthday. She did not die in vain. I will not allow her message and her voice and her passion to have died with her. I honor it, I carry it, and I bring it with me into this next chapter of my life, my growth, and this podcast, and my gift to you. I've written a few words that I want to share as I end this right now for my mother. Please bear with me if I become emotional, because this has been a powerful, powerful day for me. Mom, this is for you. My life, my mission, my voice is for you. You were somebody. You always were. But what you felt you didn't achieve, how you didn't align, I want you to know I am becoming everything that you felt suffocated by your circumstances, by the societal pressures and expectations that were put on you. I am doing this not just for me, but for you and me, Mom. And to every woman who is listening, who's ever felt that she needed to earn her place in this world, I want you to know, I see you. You are enough. You are already somebody. Unlearn the crap and level up. Your soul is calling, is moving to 5 days a week, beginning tomorrow. The world does not need more content. It does need more truth, more authenticity, more vulnerability, more intimacy, more connection, more collaboration. Join me by subscribing and sharing if this message touched you. Send it to somebody who might need to hear that what they've gone through matters. Invite them to join us. Share your thoughts, your comments, your reviews. Add your energy to this movement, to this moment, and declare that you're going to join me in unlearning your crap so you can level up, because your soul is calling. I'm excited. Are you? Thank you for joining me on this episode of The Unlearning Curve. I hope you enjoyed it. If something landed for you today, make sure to follow, like, comment, and share, and check out all the other full interviews and other episodes of Unlearn the Crap and Level Up podcast, where you'll find deeper conversations, expert guests, and real stories from people just like you who are unlearning their crap and choosing clarity. Visit me at kathybaldwin.me and get all my free resources. Check out my coaching programs as well as my books. Until next time, keep showing up, keep unlearning, and keep leveling up, because your soul is calling.